Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Camelot Smite League. It is your boy Cheeto, and I'm joined today on the cast by the Jolly Green himself. How are you, mate?
I'm doing good, Cheeto. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing well, thank you. It is a crisp 7 p.m. night in England, and I'm ready to watch Flaming Tanukis versus Royal Jesters.
Yeah, a little bit going on with the Tanukis, it seems, with everything from last week with Crisp coming in and out of the server. So we'll see what happens with this Tanuki squad and how they line up today.
Yes, sir, there is a lot happening in this Merlin division lineups for the minute, but we're going to get into picks and bans and we're going to look at what's happening right now. And we see a couple of standard bans to start with, minus the Bacchus. Bacchus is a very interesting ban off of the rip, but Hebo, Alklang, and Sol are pretty standard bans, I would imagine.
Well, yeah, well, with the Bacchus, though, I mean, there's just so much he provides, and he just gets tankier and tankier as the game goes on. That Chug, once he hits that drunk status, he's just tanky early, too, for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, we are going to see a clear Dana ban as well on the side of playing Tanukis, and Freya is going to be the first pick for the Royal Jesters, someone who is known as probably one of the better magical ADCs at the moment, can be very predominant in this style of play at the moment in this meta. We are seeing a clear Dana ban, who's seen an uprise in this past patch, really, really good at the moment, and a 4 ban as well, just to top it off.
Yeah, well, I mean, Thor's just really good. I mean, if you watch any SPL play-ins, you've seen what players like Sam for Soccer have done on him. So he's just super strong. Has that near global ultimate. And if he gets a dunk on you, you might as well just stand there and let him do his thing. But we have a
Yeah,
Maui pick coming up first for the Tanukis, and Maui's been just at the top since he was released, essentially.
yeah, Maui's one of those gods where he has received, I think, 3 or 4 nerfs now, and even though he has received those nerfs, he's still able to do a lot just based off of his ultimate ability. It has a lot of value just alone in that one piece of his kit, that along with the thing that he throws around the walls where it gives you a lot of movement for your team. And on top of that, Merlin as well, who is, I would say, probably one of the better mid laners in the game right now.
Well, I mean, but just going through all Merlin's abilities, I mean, he's just got so much shred between his flame stance, his ice stance, and his purple stance, which I forget what it's called all of a sudden. But now we see a Sobek locked in on the other side. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, so I mean Morgan Le Fay, Sobek. Morgan Le Fay is one of those gods where it's like she has very great self peel, which is going to help between herself and Freya. With the Sobek as well on top of that, Sobek has for a Guardian a high output of damage. It could be solo Beck. We don't know yet. We haven't seen the rest of the picks yet because magical Guardians have made themselves back into the solo lane because the nerfs that Warriors have received now is just unreal. It kind of hits them a little bit hard, but we are going to see an Ishtar locked in as well, which is probably the best physical ADC in the game right now. Still seeing a lot of game played time in the SPL as well.
Yeah, Ishtar's still one of the ones I've seen constantly picked as far as physical hunters go. If you can't get a mage ADC, I've seen a lot of people taking Ishtar, and a lot of times it's been into a Freya. So I guess she's got a really good or a good matchup into Freya. That's why she was locked in here.
Yeah, she gains a lot of lane pressure just based off of her kit. That along with a Maui as well. I think the Royal Jesters are going to struggle a little bit in the early duo phase. We are seeing bans come through again as well, and we're seeing Nejar and Fenrir banned on the side of the Tanukis, 2 really good junglers right now. And then you've got the Guan Yu and Kukulkan bans on the side of the Royal Jesters, who I think Guan Yu is probably one of the best warriors in the game right now, to be honest. And then you've got Kukulkan, who just does the normal Kukulkan things and creates a crazy amount of pressure within that solo lane.
Yeah, and with the Guan, he's got that prot shred. So I mean, you're seeing so many tanks build mitigation builds these days. At least at the start of season 10. So that prot shreds them down, makes it easier for a squishy to kill.
Yeah, we are seeing a tier locked in on the side of Tanukis, so I'm guessing that's going to be the expert's pick in this game. And I think tier actually does pretty well into Morgan Le Fay and Freya, to be honest. We are seeing a Hercules locked in on the other side, which is another warrior who has been very predominant in the start of season 10 of Smite. So I mean, this Royal Jesters lineup's looking to be something where they're trying to definitely put on some sort of pressure. And Bakasura is going to be the overlocking, a god that you don't see as much anymore, quite honestly. But if a Bakasura is able to do what he wants to do, he's going to be able to lock down this Merlin very well on Bakasura, just based off the cripple on his ult. So we'll see what this guy can do on Bakasura and see where we go from there. We are just awaiting the final pick on the side of the flaming Tanukis. Let's see what they are cooking up. They do still need a jungler, and you'd like to see something like a Pele giving pressure. And Mercury also gives a lot of pressure coming towards the later game. If this Mercury is able to do what he wants to actually do and farm highly in the early game, maybe. I mean, he's going to be going the Golden Blade to start with, I would imagine, and then the Rage slightly after that. And if he can start to pick up kills and assists once he has that Rage online, that's when he's going to be able to start doing a lot for this team. I like this Flaming Tanukis draft, to be honest. Between the Maui's CC, the amount of pressure that Tia is going to be able to generate for them, not particularly in lane, but in team fights, and the amount of pure shred that you have. I mean, they have a lot of objective shred on the side of this Flaming Tanukis with a Merlin and with an Ishtar. That on top of a hyper carry jungle god like Mercury. If I was to pick one of these drafts to actually win this first game, it would be the Tanukis.
Yeah, and you're seeing a lot of jungles that are playing that hyper carry type of role from a couple seasons ago, where they're farm early, they're getting to especially if they're going crit, they're getting that rage online, and they're just going through destroying everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been very predominant in this season, especially because of the amount of corridors inside of the jungle now. It makes it very hard for Mercury to do what Mercury wants to do. I mean, there's still the same good old ult down the lane, which could actually prove to be a problem for this Freya. I would like to see Mercury try to put on a lot of pressure towards the duo side of the map. I think Morgan Le Fay is going to be relatively safe in terms of wanting to gank because she has a lot of self-peel. If this Freya is able to do what Freya wants to do, then that is basically bullying lane and get through to that late game and kind of hyper carry, it's going to be very good for them.
Yeah, it's really going to go off of who can get the late game first, this Mercury or this Freya. Because like I said, they're both late game hyper carries. If Mercury can get that ult down and keep that Freya down early, then Tanukis have a good shot. If they can't get kills on this Freya and slow her down, then you're going to see the Jesters comp really start to come together. Especially being such an individual pick comp, Sobek pluck, Hurt pluck and dash. If you get pulled
we are going to see a lot happening in the mid lane as well, I would imagine, because Merlin, also the exact same as what we've just been discussing, scales very highly into the late game. He has the objective stretch, which is very nice for that god, especially when you've got an Ishtar on your team with the shotgun autos. This team could do a lot. We are seeing going into game now, and we're seeing a Mr. Wisp jungle. That is a sight to be withheld. But I have a jungle picked up on the Mercury. I'm going to guess that Maui's going towards the benevolence / heroism, going to be the call. And then obviously we're seeing the hunters go to pretty
Yeah.
Nothing out of question here, really.
No, I mean, Maui, I think, is one of those gods. I think he generally stacks the prophetic cloak fairly well. Same with the Sobek. Just get in there, do a little bit of damage. But if you're still stacking that prophetic cloak at like 20 minutes, it's probably going to be a bad day for you.
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, we did see this Tanukis team have a very good set last week as well. So it's going to be very nice to see what they do this week on top of that. We are looking right now and we're seeing they are, that is the Jesters, but looking to pull the XP and green together to start with, and then going to go towards the purple afterwards, just so to minimise the amount of damage that they're taking. Quite normal, and then obviously the 3-man split on the solo side.
If they can get that last, there it goes.
I would be hating that solo laner right now. That is one for a certain, pulling the red buff. It's going to definitely stall out this Morgan getting to lane, and it's going to give up a lot of pressure now in this mid lane to the Tanukis.
Yeah, that it will. I mean, because Tanukis were able to get there first, clear that wave first. That's free pressure right there. And same in the duo lane. Looks like the Tanukis got up to the line first and got that wave killed off.
Yeah, we are going to see a lot of pressure on the side of the Tanukis. Very nice pluck from the Sobek there, just to maybe cause some pressure. But the amount of, there's going to be a lot of pressure is what I was going to say for the Tanukis. Between an Ishtar and a Maui, with those cleave autos, it's going to be very predominant for those guys.
Well, not only that, but I mean, the Freya takes time to get to where she can clear lane effectively. She's not going to clear lane super fast early. So that's something you got to take advantage of for the Tanukis, is knowing that Freya can't clear lane very effectively.
Yeah. It's going to be the same in the side of the mid lane as well for the Jesters, because they're not going to clear this wave very quickly at all with Morgan Le Fay to start with at least. And with Bakasura going Bomber's Dagger for some reason, no idea why. It's very hot. That's all we're going to say about it. I'm going to imagine that junglers are going to start to rotate over towards the duo side any moment, maybe put some pressure on this gold buff. But it looks like both of the supports are also going towards a prosthetic cloak as well.
Yeah, and that's something that's an item that if you can stack it, which I think Sobek and Maui both stack it pretty well. We got a nice fight here in solo, and I wonder if they're going to keep it going. The red side jungler,
well.
yep. I don't think Herc sees him.
Bakasura is around though as well, and may poke out this Mercury as well. Dash is here, and we are going to see a little bit of pressure gained onto Mr. Wisp now. An expert is around. Leap is had to use by Bakasura to be able to escape there. And nothing really unusual. We're not going to see the Mercury hang around for. There's a lot of pressure on the other hand in the duo lane on the side of Freya and Sobek, which is something I wasn't expecting to see. Light taking a lot of poke there.
I wonder where he got that poke, if it was from the minion wave or was it just a Sobek pluck into the Freya whoop that got him.
Yeah, absolutely, and this is going to be a lot of pressure. Bomber's pushed up very, very far here on this Freya and not really paying attention to what's happening around him.
Yeah, as Freya, you don't want to get caught out early or picked early because it'll really throw off your game and slow you down getting to late game. But with a Sobek able to pluck, you just got to hope your Sobek doesn't accidentally pluck an enemy to you and then you're dead.
Yeah, a lot of what's going to happen here is really who happens to hit 5 first. I think if Maui and Ishtar hit 5 before the Freya and the Sobek do, we probably are going to see a kill on that side.
Yeah, and it's really really close right now as far as
Ult is used by Bakasura there, and nothing is going to come through it. It looks like he just wants these mid harpies taken from that side, and we do see Wisp obviously hitting 5 before things go boom on that side, and Wisp is going to make a rotation over towards the duo side as well. Bomber's taking a hell of a lot of poke. Here is the level 5 that we spoke about. Maui ult is perfect. Shell is going to be expended. The light picks up onto Bomber, and a nice rotation from Mr. Wisp to maybe try and stop something there, but it seemed that Freya was pushed up a little bit too far, didn't hit 5, and like we said, Maui and Ishtar hit 5 first, and the placement of the wall there from Maui basically got the kill for the first blood on the side of Royal, on the side of Flaming Tanukis.
Yeah, it did, and it just stopped the Freya from getting through that hole. She couldn't get through the hole, and that cost her life.
Yeah, that's what I like to call a Maui diff, and we are seeing a little bit of a nice jump in the good old solo lane. We do love to see that. I would imagine that Bomber is about to tick over to 5, and he does. He doesn't have the gold to be able to pick up that tier, that full Telekines yet either, so he's definitely going to struggle, especially against this Ishtar, who got the first blood for one, and now has the full Assy as well on top of that. Obviously, beads down on both sides as well. This could be very good for this Ishtar if she wants to get some pressure in the early. Ultimate is going to be used. Sonic Boom does come through, and Hawk's in a lot of trouble here, and Things Go Boom picks up the kill onto Hawk there on the Hercules, and that's going to be a pressure gain for the expert in the solo lane as well.
Yeah, I mean, and that's just what Tyr brings to the table. I mean, he's able to knock you up, and it feels like you're knocked up forever if you get hit by Tyr. And then that just allows the Mercury to just get a hit or two on him, and we see Maui come back over here to the Freya. Another fight in mid.
Yeah, nothing really going to happen. Very safe on the side of Tanukis in that middle lane. I would like I said in the start of this game, I want to see the pressure put onto this Freya. Already, the Ishtar has the first blood. It's going to be very nice for them. If they can get this Ishtar a lead, it's going to be phenomenal for this Flaming Tanuki side. And if they get both pressure in terms of, obviously this gank coming through towards the solo lane as well, if they can exert pressure in solo and in duo overall, even if this Morgan Le Fay is able to do something in mid, it's going to kind of counteract that with the pressure moving in from those side lanes.
Yeah, and if I'm that Morgan Le Fay right now, I'm not wanting to push up too far for fear of a gank, because right now.
Speaking of a gank, Wisp is going to be here. Ultimate is going to be popped. No beads available for the light. Leap is going to be used and nothing else comes through. But here comes the Mercury as well. I'm pretty sure Sonic Boom was popped there. It was not, but Bomber is going to fall there too. Things Go Boom. Another death on the side of there. Light does use the dash to get out of there, and ult is going to be used by Things Go Boom there, and nothing going to come of that. It was a little bit sus. Wisp is going to hang around, but another kill in this duo lane. Mercury already picking up 2 kills in the early game is going to be phenomenal for that guy, and pressure gained in the duo lane on this Ishtar.
Yeah, and with Frey dying early, that's what you need to do, is put pressure on the Ishtar to try to keep Frey in the game, because if that Ishtar just is able to keep farming and keep getting kills or assists, then that Frey is only going to fall more and more behind.
Yeah, the Telekines ring is online now for this Freya. Beads are up, and so are they on the Ishtar as well. But this Telekines ring gives the Freya a lot, especially in terms of how quick she's able to clear the wave because of the basic attacks dealing extra damage based off of the passive of the item. Ultimate is going to be used from the Sobek, and it's just going to be for safety, I'm guessing. Nothing really happening though in terms of this duo, this mid lane, should I say.
Yeah, that's a really questionable ult, though, in my opinion, from the Sobek, though, because he really wasn't under any threat of death right there that I saw.
Maui is going to leap here just to give himself a little bit of safety. Ults come through from the light and from Bomber, but here comes Things Go Boom once again, just hanging around in this duo lane to kind of exert this pressure from the Freya, who does get a lot of poke off there onto the light on this Ishtar.
Yeah, and that's what we were saying in picks and bans. You got to keep the Freya down early. Can't let her get to late game as fast as she wants if you want to have a chance in the late game.
We are seeing a lot of the Jesters actually hanging around in the Tanukis jungle now, up towards those back camps, and they are just going to back it up now, heading back towards their own side of the jungle. But obviously the pressure from the Freya there gained them that little bit of leeway. And I mean, if we're looking at what's happening right now around the map, we're seeing, I mean, this tier's already got 2 full items online, and with this Stone of Binding, that guy is going to do a lot of damage. Obviously, we're seeing the Breastplate of Regrowth on the side of the Hercules, which is a very core item for that god right now.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's nothing really happening in terms of like questionability. We are seeing both of the mid laners go for the Tablet of Destinies, which just received its buff. Item is very, very good right now. Looks like a blue invade is going to come through here, and is not going to go through actually. Hawk is going to take this fight, and the guys are around. Mr. Wisp does pop the ultimate ability, and ult is going to come through from Things Go Boom to get himself out of there, but Expert's just hanging around and 3v1ing, I guess, because he can. And I mean, this guy still has the ult available and could just walk out if he wants to. And Sobek is going to pop his ult as well. And Expert doesn't really care about what's happening around here at the moment.
No,
He's just going to do whatever he wants.
I mean, I know it's tier. They had him against the wall, so that doesn't say much against the tier. But then the Sobek just gave him a free out by giving him a pluck.
Yeah, it was a beautiful 3-man fearless as well from the Expert there on the tier. And a pluck is going to come through on this Maui, but Maui's just going to be able to dash away every single time now. Like I said, there's nothing really going to happen around this middle lane. We are seeing Maui with a lot of gold in hand, so he's probably going to want to back soon. The main thing I'm looking at right now is Sobek already has 18 stacks on this prosthetic cloak, which is phenomenal in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I was actually just about to point that out. He's got 18 stacks where the Maui's only looking at, I believe that says 7 down there.
Yes, it
so
does.
The Sobek definitely outstacking that prophetic.
Bomber is going to take a little bit of poke now here, and Ultimate is going to be popped from the light, not managing to pick up the kill there. Bomber did have the ult available for safety if he needed to, but not going to cause anything, and things go boom on this Mercury. Now has the rage online, so this is the moment in time in this game where we're going to want to see this Mercury starting to get a little bit active, because if he can get the kills and the assists on this item early, beads are actually going to be popped there from the light, and Ultimate comes through from the Mercury. Sonic Boom is going to be coming through. Mr. Wisp is hanging around though. Bomber gets out of there only just. It's a really early beads there from the Ishtar, but here comes a rotation from Cat also.
Yeah, I think that Mercury saw the low health bar on the Freya, was like, I'm going to go get 1 stack on this rage, and unfortunately he's just not able to come up with the kill.
Yeah, the bead and the ult there were used, so it's very good value for him, and that's a lot of damage from that Mercury onto Morgan Le Fay, who is going to pop the ult to get out of there. No beads are used on the side of that Morgan Le Fay though.
Yeah, and that's just part of the safety with Morgan Le Fay. I mean, you've got that ult, and then your ability that has a fear like a mini Hunbat's ult, basically.
Yeah, this Morgan Le Fay right now is going to be saying, thank you, Mercury, for those tablet stacks.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing is, that's another item you want to get stacked, especially as a mid laner, because looks like she's at 12 stacks, and Merlin looks to be at 9.
Yeah, and speaking of the Merlin, we are going to see him get on this Book of Thoth stacking as well at the same time. So obviously the tablet, the damage off of it comes based off of, I think it's per percentage of mana. So let's have a read. Yes, 0.14% of Mike's mana. So the more, obviously Book of Thoth is a very high mana output item. I'm pretty sure when it's stacked it gives like 1,000 mana, I'm pretty sure. So it's definitely a good item to stack with this Tablet of Destinies, and we're going to see this Merlin, especially going towards the late game, do a hell of a lot of damage.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, when you have as many buttons as Merlin has, that's just what you do. You just throw out damage.
You certainly do.
You got to think, he's got, with 1 button, he's got 3 different damaging abilities associated with that 1 button, and he's got 3 buttons that do damage.
Yes, I mean, we are going to see around 3,000 gold league currently on the side of the Tanukis. Yeah, 2,800, around the region of 2,500 to 3,000 gold, and we're also seeing a slight experience difference as well. I'm thinking you're going to see that predominantly in the solo lane. Pyromancer is going to be picked up on the side of the Tanuki, so they are going to get that free of charge. But we are seeing a level in the solo lane, we're seeing a level in the jungle, a level in the mid lane, and other than that, nothing. But the amount of pressure gained out of that, with this this Mercury picking up those 2 early kills as well, it's very nice for him.
Yeah, I think Mercury is going to start looking really hard soon to start stacking that rage even more than it was earlier, because he still has no stacks on it since he purchased.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see this Mercury head on over towards the duo lane after knowing that he got the beads and all off of the Freya. It isn't going to happen, and Freya now has his Bancross talent now online as well, so healing as well as damage, something you don't really want to see on a Freya. And it's a pretty standard ADC build on the side of this this Ishtar going to Rage.
Yeah, and Freya, only a half level down, maybe if that. She just ticked over to 14. It's not going to take much longer for this Freya to get to where she wants to fight everyone. And
speaking of
that's
fighting everybody, we are going to talk about the expert right now on this tier, and he just wants to fight everybody because he gets ults off of Morgan Le Fay and off of Bakasura purely from proxying. Ooh,
yeah,
the blink does come through as well, and it isn't going to be on the point. Ultimate's also going to be used from the Sobek, and it just means that Tanukis are able to go over towards the gold side and get this for free because 4 people want to kill the expert. And if this guy gets out of here, it's going to be a miracle.
I mean, Expert's just doing his job as a solo laner. He's got the rest of the team distracted. I don't even know if they got the notification Gold Fury went down because they've been chasing this tier for that long. And
it
if
looks
his
like
team
he's
would have
going to fall eventually. Ultimate is going to be pumped from Hercules as well, so Expert actually gets 4 ults.
Yeah, he's the Morgan ult, the Sobek ult, the Herc ult, Baka ult. The only thing he didn't do was get Freya ult, and that's because Freya was never over there.
Yeah, and I mean, we are going to see actually some aggressiveness here from Belite as well now. And oh my god, that is a lot of damage coming through from him. But yeah, we saw the Tanukis there get that Gold Fury absolutely free of charge, minus their solo laner dying, but I'm pretty sure that Expert just wanted a quick way to back.
But I mean, if I've got a solo laner taking 4 ults, and he dies, and I get Gold Fury off of it, that's a win in my book. He dies, takes 4 ults, and I still get a Gold Fury off of it.
Yeah, the experience difference has started to go down slightly now, but the gold difference has just increased, and it's now around 4,000 on the side of the Tanukis. And that is a lot of damage from the Merlin there.
Yeah, I mean, that's Merlin in a nutshell. I mean, throws out an ability, and he's going to get 600 damage off of it in one hit.
Yes, sir, and he does get another proc item in the Soul Gem now online. So definitely going to be pumping out these numbers pretty soon, and with that 2-level lead in the mid lane as well, he is starting to get a little bit ahead of this Morgan Le Fay.
Yeah, and you look at the level charts right now. Sobek's level 13 compared to Maui at level 11. There's 2 level difference in mid, maybe 1.5. And then the junglers have a slight level difference. So really the only big level differences you have are your mid laners and your supports on the opposite sides of the teams.
Yeah, one thing that is going to be noted though is that this Maui is rotating around a lot and enabling this Merlin to be able to farm in the early, which is, I mean, this mid laner is going to be praising the hell out of this support because him allowing this guy to farm up is going to become very useful for them, especially when this Book of Thoth becomes stacked as well. As Sonic Boom does come through, beats are going to be popped by Mr. Wasteman. Here comes the Expert as well. We're seeing a lot of stuff happening right now. Big Blue is going to take a lot of damage here, and Maui ult does come through, locks off his teammates. He does know he can drop that. He drops it a little bit late, but here comes Hawk now. He's surrounded by 4 members of the Tanukis. And it looks like this Merlin is going to switch over to the old fire stance and pop a little bit of damage onto him, but nothing else coming from that. Hawk is a very tanky boy now with this Oni Hunter's garb online, and I mean with the healing as well on top of that. We are actually going to see Freya rotate over towards the fire side of the map, and Light is going to just continue to push over in the duo lane. Sobek is going to hang around, and it looks like Bomber's just going to see if he can gain anything in this mid. I'm not sure if that's going to be a thing though for him. It's definitely a little bit better value for Light, especially since the fight had already finished on the Pyromancer.
Yeah, and that just gave Ishtar a free tower.
I mean, the Pyromancer's just going to be picked up again.
Yeah, I mean this Tanukis team, they're just on the objectives as soon as they can be, and they're not really having much pushback from the Jesters.
Hercules is around on that Pyro side as well, and it is going to assert some sort of pressure. Bathwater for sale on this Merlin, fantastic name I will add, does take a little bit of poke from that Hercules there and is going to force the Merlin 2 back. I'm pretty sure he's not going to be too worried about that though, because it does get that tier 2 of Obshard or Divine Ruin, I would imagine. I would imagine it's maybe an Obshard that is going to be picked up. But we're probably going to see the teams rotate over now towards this Own It Fury, and it's going to be probably the main target now, and probably the pivotal point of this game is going to be based off of this fight on this Gold Fury.
Yeah, and they're trying to put all they can, not all they can into the tier, but they're trying to put up some damage in the tier, and tier's just standing there taking it like, okay, what are you going to do to me now? Hurt is
a hell of a lot of damage. Yeah, there goes Herc. The Light actually picking up a kill there, and a rage stack for him, and this fight is very, very split, and the Light picks up another kill. Sonic Boom comes through as well, and Wisp is going to take a lot of damage. Things Go Boom picking up a kill onto Mr. Wisp as well, and Bomber is in a very bad place now. Beads are used, Aegis is used, ult is used, and Light picks up a triple kill on this Gold Fury fight. Morgan Le Fay is still around and may look to try and steal, but it looks like Expert is going to head on over there, and the amount, this goes back to the amount of objective shred that we spoke about, and how quick that Oni Fury dropped was phenomenal.
Yeah,
but
when
wow.
you have all 5 on it, it's not going to take long, and the only threat is the mid laner. I'm just saying, burn the Gold Fury if the mid laner steps up. Yeah.
Yeah, that mid laner is going to be picked up, and look how quick it's falling, already half HP. We're going to see Cat knocked up by the Fire Giant, and Hawk is around about a quarter HP now. Ult is going to be used by the Hercules, and here comes Sobek as well, is going to be around. We're seeing it stalled, and the Jesters pick that up, and Hawk picks up onto the Maui as well. It's just going to walk away. Things Go Boom is very, very low. And yeah, Light's in a lot of trouble now. Hawk's on his ass, and Aegis is used, Bees is used, and Hawk picks up a double kill, and the Fire Giant steal for the Royal Jesters.
I don't know what the Tanukis were doing there. I mean, they had free fire. It was sitting there at so low health for 10 seconds, and nobody finished
well by Bathwater for sailing. He's going to take a lot of damage from this Hercules, who is just walking him down, but he might have found himself in trouble, and a triple kill on that Fire Giant there for Hawk. And the lack of anti-heal now is becoming a problem for this Royal Jesters, and Bomber picks up a kill onto Expert as well. Fire Giant on the side of Royal Jesters, and this game has just took a complete swing in the opposite direction.
Yeah, Hawk is Herc, and he's just going to heal up and run at you, and you're either going to run away or he's going to kill you. I don't know why anyone wants to face that Herc right now.
That is a phenomenal fight there for the Royal Jesters, and them picking up that Fire Giant off of a steal. I think it was a little bit hesitant from the side of the Tanukis, not wanting to DPS it at the same time as, I mean, Hawk just did a hell of a lot in that fight. He picked up 3 kills. He picks up a steal on the Fire Giant. I mean, it slightly decreases the gold towards the Tanukis. I mean, they were on the region of around a 7,000 gold lead, but now it's only on the region of 4. The experience, though, on the other hand, it's pretty much bank smack level now, and the levels are pulled completely back.
Yeah, and that's what a good objective still can do. I mean, you have fire now. You can knock down these towers and get some of that gold back that you're down. So, I mean, the Tanukis have gold they can go after themselves, but they don't have fire right now.
Yeah, and we did just see it popped over, and that is going to be the prosthetic cloak fully evolved now for this Sobek, which is going to do a great deal for that Sobek. Also having the Sentinel's Embrace fully online as well, being level 15, whereas the Maui is ever so slightly behind and doesn't have that 15 just yet, but also only 17 stacks on this prosthetic cloak still.
Yeah, it just seems like he hasn't been focused on his prophetic cloak stacks, and Sobek's like, I got to get this thing stacked so I can go in here and do whatever I want.
And that is a lot of damage hit onto the Sobek there, about a quarter of his HP just from a few autos from the Light, who does have now a lot of penetration online between the dominance off of the basic attacks, and then you have the Kins and the Exy as well on top of that. It's very nice of them, but I mean, still only 3 stacks on the Rage for both himself and for the Mercury, who has the Deathbringer as well.
Yeah, once they get those 2 items online, they're gonna hit.
They're going to hit like a robot, and we are going to go over towards this Primal Fury now, and we are going to see the Jesters be the first people to pick this up, and they're going to look for a fight as well. Hawk is going to take a bit of damage now, dropping to around half HP. Ult's going to be popped from the Maui there and takes a... That's a big chunk of damage. Sonic Boom comes through from... Things go boom, and he's going to take a lot of damage. The Aegis is going to be popped as well. On top of that, Light does pick up a kill onto Hawk here in this fight. Ult is going to be used to escape on the side of Expert, and it's a good fight for both teams, but we are seeing the Tanukis with a lot of low HP bars now. Anti-heal, a big thing coming through now, and we are seeing the Pestilence on the side of with this tier, and obviously the Divine Ruin as well, and the Jesters want this fight now. Fire Giant is no longer around their waists. Light is now stacked on this this Rage, so he's going to be pumping out a lot of damage, as you can see on those player damage charts. 22,500 damage now for him, which is 13,000 damage more. Well, 15,000 damage more than the other ADC, and that crit chance being nearly around 50%, 45% is going to be a lot for that Ishtar now. He's putting in work in these fights.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at all the damage numbers. On top, Ishtar, Tyr, and on the other side, you've got Freya, Bacchus, Sura, and Sobek down at the bottom almost, only ahead of Maui.
Yes, sir, and I think this Maui isn't really looking for the damage, but also not getting a lot of value in terms of what he wants. Things Go Boom is going to take a lot of damage here from Hawk. It is going to be Maui there to save his life, though. No relics available yet on the Maui. We are going to see teams stancing up towards the Fire Giant now, and here comes Ishtar wanting to put out some damage, and what exactly has he been doing in these fights? We are going to see a full 5v5 around this Fire Giant now. Currently, Tanukis is having a 4,000 gold lead, and let's see what these teams can do. We are going to see a soft pull on the side of the Jesters, and nothing really happened apart from that. We're seeing the ward game come out, and Hawk pops out that ward there on the Fire Giant. A lot of defensive wards for both teams, but not really no aggressive wards. Mercury is going to head over towards this Gold Fury, so it is going to leave them in a 5v4 for the moment.
Yeah, and if Mercury gets spotted out and they realize he's not with the rest of his team, it's going to be the go button. But it looks like Merc's pathing to come for a gank on the backside, and he's been spotted out, so he's not going to be back there very long.
Yeah, that is a very... Whoever has placed that ward back there on the red buff, that's a very nice ward, because this is where people want to be... Oh, no, it's Mercury who's placed the ward there. They must have seen him pass through because of minions, and we do see the Jesters pick up the Pyromancer now, and the gold is nothing to be worried about at this moment in the game. It's what happens in terms of the team fights on this Fire Giant, and people are going to run towards this Mercury, maybe a little bit too much put onto him, because it is going to leave Hercules alone here now, taking a lot of damage here from this Merlin as well. Around half HP, Light does get pulled in. Ultimate does come through from Bakasura and the Morgan Le Fay. Bomber is going to exert his ult as well. Here comes Sonic Boom though coming through, and the basics come through. Aegis is going to have to be used. Wisp is taking a hell of a lot of damage, but Bomber is going to be able to walk out of there. Things Go Boom picks up a kill onto Wisp as well, and Rantasama is going to fall with Hawk also falling. There goes Bomber, and that's going to be 4 kills on the side of the Tanukis. And the amount of stuff that Expert did there alone for then Things Go Boom to walk into the channel and go boom, Sonic Boom, straight through, picks up 2 kills. Hawk's unfortunately left on his own front lining because Wisp's trying to heal for his back line at the same time, and that's going to be a free Fire Giant for the Tanukis.
Not to go unnoticed though, those 2 kills give Mercury his last 2 rage stacks. So he's just about fully online minus his last item.
Yeah, and he's going to look to pick up a Bludge Forge in the last item slot as well. So with him getting these kills, we are seeing a dash in from Sobek here, and he could be in a lot of trouble now. Here comes the Fearless,
Yep.
and yeah, that was a bad decision on the side of Sobek. Bathwater for Sale picking up that kill, and this could be an end call here from the Tanukis. It isn't going to be the thing. Cat takes a lot of damage there. Still doesn't have the prosthetic cloak online, but does have that heroism, and that heroism is going to put in a lot of work. And speaking of Holy doing work,
What a
Bathwater for Sale
hurtful.
does a lot of damage there. And Wisp does fall now. We're seeing a 3v5 Fire Giant on the side of Tanukis, and this game is going exactly how they want now.
Yeah, now they just fall back. They know the Merlin's not up. Or not the Merlin, the Baka and the Sobek are not up, so they can go straight to that Fury, drop it down. Expert's going to come up and zone. And I don't think he even needs to. That Fury goes down so fast.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, this Freya is slowly starting to make her way. I mean, she is in the late game pretty much, just one item behind. And something interesting now is seeing the Ishtar sell the starter item and pick up the Titan's Bane. So those abilities are going to also do a lot of damage as well.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see how much Golden Hand Freya has right now because she's at 20. I'm surprised she hasn't gone back and gotten that last item.
No, she did opt to get the Diamond Arrow online first, which is the main core behind what a Freya needs. Those basic attack damage off of that Diamond Arrow is a lot. Obviously, that team is just quite a little bit behind now on the region of 10,000 gold. So 2,000 gold per player works out as near enough a full item per player.
All right. Well, I imagine she's going to be looking to find some kind of farm somewhere, and you see the.
This could be a lot of trouble here for Wisp. Beads are going to be popped, and a lot of damage comes through from the Hawk, who now pushes someone into the front line. Here comes the Maui ult, which does pull Hawk, and nothing else going to come of it, but a lot happening there to Mr. Wisp, who uses the ult, has to use the beads just to be able to get out of there. We do still see Fire Giant on the side of the Tanukis, and they're going to pressure towards his Phoenix. Fire minions are going to be pushing in the middle lane as well, so that could be a thing. Ultimate is going to be popped from the Expert, and Hawk actually falls, and so does Big Blue. No frontline tanks available now, and Things Go Boom picks up a kill in the middle lane, double kill in the middle lane, and that's going to be game on the one for the Tanukis. And Bombay is going to try and help as much as he can, studying that fountain, but isn't going to be able to do enough. Game one goes towards the Tanukis.
Yeah, that was just classic. Keep Freya down. Don't let her get to where she wants to be. And they did it to the point where the Freya only had 1 kill for the entire game.
Yeah, there was a hell of a lot happened in that game. It looked like with the Fire Giant steal, it kind of gave the Jesters a lifeline. It allowed them to do some stuff that they wanted to do, but it wasn't able to mitigate the team fighting prowess that the Tanukis were able to put out. And we're seeing a lot of wards placed on the map, but minus from a few people. The Expert clearly doesn't like placing wards. But I mean, the amount of stuff that it does in those team fights, the amount of damage that this Ishtar was putting out in these team fights as well. The Merlin as well, working really well with this Ishtar, putting out what they needed to do. But the stuff that Things Go Boom on this Mercury was able to do, 7-0 and 3 on this Mercury, just because Expert was putting in work, it really didn't matter what happened because Things Go Boom was able to go in and clean up after what Expert was doing.
Yeah. If I am the Jesters, I'm thinking probably banning the Mercury for the next game because 7-0 and 3, 10 out of 18 kills he affected.
Yeah, definitely did a lot. And I mean, it is a low kill game. 18 kills throughout the whole game. It isn't a lot. But it was mainly in these team fights that Tanukis actually did. They succeeded a lot in these team fights. And I mean, like I said, the Jesters got a little bit of leeway getting the Fire Giant steal and managing to do a little bit, but it didn't really matter for them because the Tanukis were on top of their game in this first game.
Yeah, their only mistake was coughing up that fire giant early, but it didn't come back and haunt them any.
Yes, sir. And we are going to head on over to a small break as we are between these games. So please join us back in the next couple of minutes for game 2 of this set.
be solid, not falling apart. Things never not okay when you were mine. You used to be honest, not pulling my heartstrings. Every other day you change your mind. Cause when you're high, you call me like I'm lonely. Some kind of little toy for you to wind up when you land in bed and feeling lonely. I'm tired of being deployed like that. I'm getting busier and busier, so disorientated. First you want me, then you're busy. Girl, it's not that complicated. Got me tied up in a leash and running, going round, round. You got me running in a circle. I'm just trying to find my way back to you. What happened to us? Round in a circle. Back where I started, I'm stuck here like glue. You keep me on a loop. I'm just trying to find my way back to you. What happened to us? Round in a circle. Back where I started, I'm stuck here like glue. You keep me on loop. I used to respect you, thought I was enough. Yeah, feels like half a century ago. Guess you keep coming back after telling me off, without even feeling sorry between goodbye and hello again. Thought we could grow again, how about no again, again and again. I'm trying to tell you we can't be friends, struggling to comprehend that we broke up and ended again and again and again. And I'm getting busier and busier, so disorientated. First you want me, then you're busy. Girl, it's not that complicated. Got me tied up in a leash and running, round, round. You got me running in a circle. I'm just trying to find my way back to you. What happened to us? Round in a circle. Back where I started, I'm stuck here like glue. You keep me on a loop. I'm just trying to find my way back to you. What happened to us? Round in a circle. Back where I started, I'm stuck here like glue. You keep me on loop. Yeah, when you're high, you call me like I'm lonely. Some kind of little toy for you to wind up when you're lying in bed and feeling lonely. I'm tired of being deployed like all I am to use a pet. You think you own me? I'm nothing but a boy for you to wind up when you wanna pretend to get to know me.
Hello and welcome back to Camelot Smite League for Game 2 of Flaming Tanukis versus Royal Jesters Merlin Division. We are heading into picks and bans pretty shortly for this second game after, I would say, a pretty dominant display from the Tanukis in Game 1 based off of team fights. The Royal Jesters have slight moments of hope, managing to pick up a Fire Giant steal and giving them a little bit more time in the game, but once that time was over, it was all the Flaming Tanukis. And we are going to head into these picks and bans now. And you can see on the screens the top bans from the last game based off of the data for these teams. And we're going to see pretty much the same bans coming out for both teams, especially on the side of Tanukis, banning this Bacchus, banning this Hebo. We are seeing a respect ban on the side of Jesters on this Ishtar because the light did a lot on that last game. And we are going to see a clear down a ban as well.
Yeah, that Ishtar just got a couple kills early and then ran it, and then there's the Freya ban. The Freya didn't do a whole lot last game, but the Jester's banning the Freya out, not the Tanuki.
Yeah, the Jesters were the ones who got that Freya in the last game, and we are seeing the Tanukis actually picking first this time around. I am pretty sure. So, I mean, I'm guessing that the Jesters don't want to have to play against that Freya.
No. And the way Light played the Ishtar, I wouldn't want to see him on the Freya. But that leaves Thor open, and we talked about Thor at the start of last game. He just goes up, dunks, and you just pray he doesn't have the damage to kill you.
Yeah, very predominant in terms of global pressure and the amount of damage output that it has, and the amount of CC that it has in his kit as well. We are seeing a Merlin hovered on the side of the Jesters, and that is a god that did a lot for the Tanukis and that last game. So the Jesters are going to take the Merlin away from
Athena.
those, and we are going to see an Athena locked in as well.
Yeah, Athena, I played her all 3 games last week, and people are like, Athena's not that strong, but I mean, you got taunt, you got your shield wall, you got a global ult. You can get to your team in a matter of seconds.
Yeah, and I mean, Athena with a Sunder can do a hell of a lot, and we are going to see an Agni and a Maui locked in now for the Flaming Tanukis, and Maui obviously picked up in the last game and did a lot in terms of ultimate ability pressure, can do a lot. And we are seeing an Agni as well, which has CC, a lot of it, I will add, in his kit, and a lot of burst damage as well at the same time as having a lot of middle lane pressure.
Yeah, Agni, I think he's one of the top gods in mid right now, and he's going against Merlin, so mid matchup should be pretty good. But we also see an Achilles locked in on the side of Jesters. What do you think about the Achilles lock in?
Right now, I think Achilles is strong. I think he's very good. And we're seeing, I'm going to say probably two of the, I don't know why there's a Giannis ban from the Jesters, but that is going to be the case. And what I was going to say is we're seeing two of the top three mid laners picked up now, I would say, minus a Tiamat, who is probably the top mid lane in the game right now. Tiamat just has a lot of value offered to God, and I mean, we're at a skill level where you can either play Tiamat or you cannot. We are going to see a soul ban on the side of the Jesters, so not going to be able to pick up that for the Tanukis, but I like this top three for the Tanukis.
Yeah, and the Olaran ban on the other side, along with the Najah. So you almost got all of the magical ADCs out of the way.
Yeah, Kronos is more predominantly known as a mid laner. If you can get a lead on a Kronos, it's very, very nice, but you won't see much in the duo lane, that is for a certain. It is Royal Jester's turn to pick first out of this second ban phase. And yeah, Giannis ban, Soul ban. I don't know why the Giannis ban, but the Soul ban, yes. And we're seeing Olarin and Nejar banned on the other side. Nejar very good in the jungle right now. And also in ADC as well.
Yeah, I almost wonder if the Giannis was a misclick because they already locked in the Agni on the side of the Tanukis.
It is possible, and we are seeing a Chernobog locked in for the Jesters. Chernobog just received a buff. I haven't seen much of him played, especially in this season, to be honest. So it's going to be interesting to actually see what a Chernobog can do. But in terms of actual global pressure, Athena Chernobog definitely mitigates what the fall will give to them.
Definitely. Chernobog just says, "Hey, I'm ulting over here." Athena follows suit, and probably a guaranteed kill every time those two show up somewhere.
That is an interesting lock-in, and it's going to be a Hachiman for the side of Tanukis, which, I mean, Hachiman has obviously the extended autos, just like the Ishtar has very good safety in terms of his dash, has the ult, which you can literally ult like a full lane. The horseback just riding him away into the distance.
And he's, like you said, he's one of the safest hunters in the game. Between him and Jingwei, I'm not sure which one's safer.
Yeah, we are just awaiting this final pick, and I mean the tier isn't banned, which obviously he was on the last game. It probably won't pick the same god again, but I don't see why he shouldn't. He did very good on it in that last game. Could also see the signature. He does pick up the Kukulin. I was going to say we could see a signature Chonga solo from the expert, but we don't. Not today, at least. And Kukulin's a god that can exert a lot of pressure in that lane.
Yeah. From the play-ins I've watched, Kukulin, if you have Kukulin on your side, he's just going to run down whoever. Very similar to the tier. He doesn't have the knockups that tier does, but he can still run you down.
Oh yes, Kukulin can do a hell of a lot, and with this comp that Tanukis actually have, they could do a hell of a lot. And we are going to see a Ravana locked in last for the Royal Jesters, which is going to, I'm going to imagine, go into the jungle and then the Achilles solo, but it could be either or, really. Achilles can also play in the jungle and Raven in solo, but we'll see when we get into the game. But, I mean, purely based off of these drafts alone, I think the Jesters have a lot in terms of global pressure between the Chernobog and the Athena. They have the output of damage with the Merlin, and this Raven can definitely do a lot, especially in the early game. But you have on the Tanukis side, you have a 4, obviously, the global pressure, the amount of CC. They have a lot of CC on this Tanukis side, and it looks like they want to do something with this draft. That alone, with the Agni, the pressure gain from Cucullin and the Maui, I could see this game going in more towards the Tanukis myself.
Yeah, I mean, you get a good Maui pull with a good and combine that with a good Cucullin stun and a couple of Agni bombs. I don't know much that can survive that. And a Thor dunk on top, nobody's surviving that. So if that Maui hits his pulls and the Agni's dropping his bombs and hitting them, it's probably going to be a good game for the Tanukis. But
yeah, absolutely.
The Jesters, though, they still do have that global pressure between the Athena and Chernobog. And Athena, if she chooses to ult somebody, she gives you extra mitigation. So if she ults at Achilles and he's low, he may just survive based off of her ulting him.
Yeah, I mean, this Athena could have a lot of value at the same time as not. Obviously, has the taunt, which is going to give them a little bit appeal in terms of what they're having run at them with this Cucullin from 4. But I don't think that this Jester's side has a lot to be able to stop Cucullin and 4 diving them. I think that's the main problem that they're going to have. That, along with obviously having the extended range on those Agni bombs, could prove to be a problem for this Royal Jesters, because if this Agni is just able to drop 3 bombs on the back line of the Jesters, it's going to make 4 and Cucullin's job very, very easy.
Yeah, Jesters are going to have to make sure they get on that Agni before he can get onto them. If they can't...
I mean, let's not also count out this Hatchman as well, because he has a lot of shred, does very well with the current build for ADCs, so Raven isn't going to have an easy time. Usage's kit obviously gets the extra mitigations from his ult. We are going to see Raven heading into the jungle, obviously, and then the Achilles heading into the solo lane. Again, pretty standard builds on both sides, though.
Yeah, nothing looking right now that catches my eye. The Maui going Benevolence Cloak again, and the Athena with the Sentinel's Cloak. Standard ADC bans, so it doesn't look like a whole lot changed from last game.
Yeah, no, not a lot changing at all. Apart from Wisp actually going Bluestone in the jungle on this Raven instead of going Bumbers on Bakasura.
Yeah, we'll see if it makes a difference, because I don't know if the Bakasura from last game plays very well with that start he did, but he's got the Bluestone now on the Raven, so we'll see how much more of a difference that can make this game.
Yeah, we are going to see the Tanukis hit the middle lane first as well. Wisp taking a lot of poke from that start, as well as the Merlin. So pressure is going to be gained on the side of the Tanukis. Duo lane is going to hit around the same time. Solo lane is just going to be an absolute slap fest. Taunt is going to come straight off, and that might actually be a first blood very, very early for that side, and Shell is going to have to be popped there. Is going to manage to get out, but Big Blue takes a lot of damage very early. Shell is had to be used, and pressure gained for the side of the Tanukis instantly.
Yeah, taking that much poke early is not ideal, no matter what god you're on, because now you just have no choice but to play in your tower, and if Maui gets a good pull, you're probably going to be dead next time he gets one.
Yeah, 4 is going to rotate on over to this duo lane, and wall does come through, and damage is going to come through. He's going to take 2 tower shots though, and Bomber picks up the first blood there because of that. Wisp is going to be over here as well, and is going to try and put out some damage. Light's going to take a lot of damage as we are speaking about it, and a very nice pull there. Expert picks up a solo kill onto Hawk in the solo lane, but Light's actually going to have to pop on out of there just to be able to not die, but a lot of damage again put onto the Light, and the overall pressure is just going to be taken away.
And the Robin's still here. He's looking. Oh, he just missed. Robin was still looking for that back kill and just didn't quite get close enough. But we
He
also
was
saw a
looking
kill.
around and
But there was also a kill on that solo lane during that fight on the side of the Royal Jesters, I believe. It was
no,
like
it
a
wasn't
Cullen.
Tanukis.
Was it Tanukis? I missed it. So much
Yeah,
going on in
Expert
duo lane, I didn't
picked up
see
a
who
kill.
died.
Yeah, Expert picked up a kill onto his Achilles, obviously Cullen doing Cullen things. I mean, the Tanukis had a hell of a lot of pressure over in that duo lane and kind of threw it away when Things Go Boom took 2 tower shots and kind of died because of it giving first blood to Bomber.
Yeah, and a good rotation over from Whiffs that almost got another kill in that duo lane.
Yeah, the light also nearly did fall, and we are going to see a very flip of tables basically now, and obviously that is going to be Jesters having all the pressure in this duo lane. Dash
Yeah, and
Taunt
that-
is going to come through, and nothing really coming from it.
No, I think your primary target, I think you want to pull the light there, not the Maui, because Maui's just too tanky at the moment.
Yeah, and
Even early game.
Purple Invade is going to be on the cards here, and is actually going to come through. Bomber picking up the Purple Invade against the Flaming Tanukis. 4 is going to be around now, though, and so is the light. Looks like they are going to put on pressure, and Things Go Boom is going to hang around and then walk away.
Yeah, but losing that purple and the XP is only going to put that Hachi a little further behind.
Yes, it absolutely is, and I mean we are seeing a slight early lead towards the side of the Jesters, mainly in this duo lane, and I should imagine that the taunt does come through again, and ultimates are available now for the Jesters, but not a lot of kill potential for the Jesters in terms of their ults.
No, I mean, they're just too reliant on somebody being pushed too far forward, and Athena needs to find a good ally to ult to. But right now, no real pressure for their ults to do anything significant.
Yeah, and I mean, it's going to be a lot based off of what happens in this middle game on this game, and I mean, we do see obviously a Merlin on the side of the Jesters who is going to do a lot, and speaking of that Merlin, he's going to fall. The big old wizard banned RuneScape skin is going to be used, unfortunately, but Big Blue picks up a kill onto Bath Water for sale, and Expert is going to just solo kill Hawk once again on this Cullen.
Yeah, Boom's triggered up the ultimate, hoping to dunk on the Robin, and I think he just barely missed hitting him. And that might have saved the Merlin's life if he landed it.
Yes, sir, and
Or the
Cat is
Agni's
not
life,
going
the
to be-
Agni's life.
Sorry, Cat is going to be only level 4 still, so ultimate is not going to be available for him. On the other hand, this Athena is already level 6. Bomber does actually use Cat to get to lane a little bit earlier there as well. Just says, yo, thanks for the quick path to lane.
Yeah, I mean, the Maui's level 4, doesn't have his ult yet, so there's relatively no threat going to the Maui for the Chernobog other than the pool. But looking at the map,
Though, with the gank onto the Expert, and damage is going to come through. Ult is going to be used in the rage form for the Expert. He does have these 2 kills, and is going into that. Is it Soul Eater?
yes, it does look like it is
Yeah,
Soul Eater for
It's
the
Soul Eater.
Cullen.
Yes, it is Soul Eater. So Soul Eater on Cullen, so he's going to have that damage as well. So not a lot of protections. It does pick up 2 early kills as well onto this Achilles.
Yeah, and that has him at a level, maybe level half lead. And the same with the Thor over the Robin. The Robin just ticked over to 7.
Things Go Boom is going to be around here, and a lot of damage is going to be put through onto Big Blue, and Merlin is going to be around to help peel for him. But here comes the Maui ult. Maui ult is going to be on point, and Cat actually picks up a kill there onto Big Blue. It's a very nice Maui ult there from Cat 4 to 0-0, managing to pick up that kill onto Big Blue, and that's going to give him a little bit of safety now, being able to pick up. And ult's going to be used here from Things Go Boom, and a lot of damage onto Mr. Wisp, and a solo kill from Things Go Boom onto Mr. Wisp. Ult does come through, and it's going to be very, very nice. I think Wisp actually tried to ult through to pick up a kill onto Agni, and Agni just dashed straight on through him, and then 4 just came on through and said, you know what I can do? Here you go. Here's a hammer, here's the ult, and there's your life.
Yeah, Thor just in the right place at the right time. Agni dashes away. Thor says, "Don't worry, Agni. Let me get some kill for you."
And what better peel than sending someone back to base on a grey screen?
Yep, death is the best form of pill in the game.
It exactly is. Can't kill someone if they're in base dead. And I'm pretty sure, did we just see 4 go up again? I saw something in middle lane. It was a funeral that came through to help Bomber out. I saw something fly up in the air, and Cat is going to be around as well, and Dash is going to be slightly off the mark, but here comes Wisp. Blink is going to come through, and here comes Forvo is around, and Cat's going to take a little bit of damage, so is the Light, but Peel's coming through from Things Go Boom there to help out his teammate.
Yeah, good look at the rotation and kill from Wisp. Just unfortunately not able to get it. Chernabog back in this fight using his ult though. Catches a Maui or a Thor wall.
Yeah, it's another 2-man 4-wall there to peel for his team, and Light is going to be very pushed up here and is going to have to use the beads ult as well. Maui ult does come through and it's very, very nice, but Bomber just uses the dash into the wall and then a way to be able to get through. But Things Go Boom is now going to be hanging around in the middle lane and looking for this Merlin. Is anything going to come through though? One bomb does come through. Here comes the wall though. Beads are going to be used from Merlin there to get out of there. Maybe a little bit quick on those beads because no real threat actually put out. But we're seeing a lot of value already just off of this 4.
Yeah, he's everywhere at once, and that's kind of how you want a Thor player to.
Blue Invade actually comes through as well for Cullen onto Hawk. Very good work from him to assert the pressure that he's getting currently. Hawk taking a lot of damage from him. He now has his Glad Shield also available, and here comes Athena looking for Bathwater for sale. Taunt is not going to be on point, and it's just going to mean Agni can just dash away.
And that's part of the greatness of Agni is he's safe in the mid lane with that dash and stun off his dash, as long as he has his pull down.
Yes, that is for certain. Cat is going to be around in this mid lane. Is stacking that prosthetic cloak once again, but only has 1 stack on it currently to the Athena's 9.
Yeah, and prophetic cloak, it's one of those items you've got to get damage onto somebody for it to get a stack.
Wisp is going to be around here for a gank onto Things Go Boom, and wall does come through, but a lot of damage, and Things Go Boom is going to be in trouble here. Ult does come through from Wisp to try and trace him down. The beads do get used from Things Go Boom there. Taunt doesn't get the pull off, and he is going to walk away.
Yeah, if that Athena taunt had just come up just a second or two sooner, I think the Thor's dead there, but
Wisp without the ult now available is going to walk on over towards this duo lane as well. Dash is going to be used, and that is going to be a kill on the Light there. The use of the ult from the Athena, the amount of CC that they were able to put out there as well. Gaining a lot of pressure now in this duo lane for Chernabog. Gold Fury is also going to be pulled as well by the Royal Jesters now, who are going to look for it, are going to drop it as well, a little bit questionable. Bathwater for sale is around, and these Agni Bombs are going to be able to confirm this objective if needed. Cat is also going to be around to stop that from happening.
yeah, I think they saw the Maui there and assumed that the Agni was going to be not far behind, and they were like, let's not go ahead and pull this. No need to risk it getting stolen.
No, Cat's stood on a ward right there on the left side of the jungle. Jesters have this gold ward up pretty well, so I'm pretty sure they saw him pathing through to the Gold Fury and said, you know what, an Agni Bomb could quite easily. Here comes, yeah, 4 dunk as you were saying, and beads are going to be used from Bomber there to get on out of that. And is it? I think it's the Anvils of Dawn is going to be used from the 4, and that's going to be all she wrote because beads are going to be used from Bomber.
Yeah, Thor landed, threw his hammer immediately, and I don't think he hit the hammer. So that's why Bomba still has most of his health left. Is Thor just didn't hit his hammer.
Yeah, we are going to see just a little bit of a farming fest now. Both teams very equal in terms of gold. I mean, we are going to see the Athena just take her back now to the base. Nothing really happening around this mid lane. Looks like both ADCs are just going to back on up. Pyromancer is going to be soft pulled now from the Tanukis. 4 is going to be around as well and doesn't have that ult available, but Wisp does see that happening, and both of the solo laners are also going to rotate, and this is the global pressure that we were talking about, the Chernobog able to just ult on over towards this Pyro and pick it on up, and Royal Jesters do take that Pyromancer free of charge there because of the rotation from Bomber.
Not only free of charge, but they also get the Maui ult out of it. So that's an ult that's down for about 80 seconds at this moment.
Yes, it certainly is, and we're just going to see Big Blue doing whatever he wants at the moment, getting those stacks online for that prosthetic cloak, and it's something that we saw happen in the last game as well. We saw that Big Blue was able to get this prosthetic cloak online a lot earlier than Cat, and I think that's a big thing with supports, and that is that some shouldn't really be buying the item of prosthetic cloak because you don't get value out of it really until you evolve it. And obviously the item only suits a certain style of play. If you like to peel a little bit more for your teammates and kind of play a little bit safe, then it's not the item for you. But if you're playing like Big Blue is and wanting to get on in there, kind of in a little bit, hit those taunts, then we are going to see a fight actually over in the duo lane, and 4 is going to go up in the ult. Athena ult is going to be popped as well, and tower is going to be taken from the light, so tier 1 tower actually being taken there by Bomber, and we are seeing a level lead in terms of the ADCs and just 1 stack advantage. It's actually about a level and a half in the ADC, and nothing else really comes of that. 4 ult is going to be used, Athena ult is going to be used, and that's going to be all she wrote as both teams walk away.
Yeah, Maui, if he's not careful though, might get picked here with the Wisp being here. The turn right there. It looks like they're going to go.
And Beads is actually going to be used there from the light, who puts off a lot of damage onto the light there. Cat is going to be in a lot of trouble though. Shell is going to be used. Ultimate is also going to be used there. Stun is going to come through. The magical Ulau, I think it's magical Ulau.
Yeah, Ula. I think it's Ula.
Ula, that's the one.
It's Ula or Lua, something like that.
Yeah, that, I'm British, I can't pronounce it.
I can't say it.
But yeah, I mean, a lot there put out from the Jesters in terms of pressure to the duo lane of the Tanukis. Light obviously using the beads there. But I mean, Light managed to get out there without falling, and I should imagine this Golf here is going to be the next target for these teams. Maybe we could see the solo lane being the expert rotate on over and try and use some of the pressure that Kukulkan gives to help his team out.
Yeah, and that Kukulkan, he's been doing Kukulkan things. He's 2-0 right now, level 14, has about a half level, maybe even a full level lead on the Achilles, and he's gone into that Oni Hunter's garb now. So he's got an item on the Achilles as well.
Yeah, he, I mean, he's slightly ahead. He does have those 2 kills as well, but the main thing is that he's got that fully evolved. He's going to have magical protections, he's going to have physical protections, and he's going to have the damage. So it could definitely cause some disruption in terms of the backline of the Royal Jesters. And even though the Jesters managed to pick up that Pyromancer, we are seeing like a 500 gold lead on the side of Tanukis, so general farming is better on that side.
Yeah, and it's not like you can look at the towers and say, oh, that's just 1 tower down difference, because both teams have a T1 down.
Yeah, I mean, towers, I think it's 150 gold per person on your team, so towers definitely give you a lot of value. And I mean, speaking of value, solo tower being down gives pressure to expert to rotate on over, but we are going to see Jesters hang around this Gold Fury. Big Blue is going to be around half HP, whereas we are going to see Kukulkan maybe strut his stuff over towards this gold side now. He does actually teleport into the middle lane, and we are going to see a stance towards this Gold Fury.
Yeah, looks like they're going to be fighting over it, which the goal's pretty even right now, so why not?
As a whole, the game's just very even, and I think something needs to start to happen to be able to fling this game in one direction or the other. Pyromancer is now available as well for both teams, so we may see stancing towards that rather than the Gold Fury. Chernabog is going to start to make his way over to the middle lane, but maybe just picking up that Harpy on the way. Yes, he is going to make a rotation over towards the middle lane, and he could maybe get caught out here if his positioning's all wrong.
Yeah. At this point, I mean, if this game stays at this pace, we may be in for a long cast.
Yeah, we definitely could, my friend. And speaking of objectives, we are going to see the Tanukis pick up this Pyromancer, drop into around half HP. Bathwater for sale is going to be around on this Agni. Bombs are going to start to be dropped, but Tanukis actually pick up a steal.
Fury.
It's a steal on the Gold Fury there. Raven
Raven and Cherno were over there, and it cost the Hachi his life. The Hachi got the steal, but he paid for it with his life.
Yeah, he certainly did, but I mean, at the same time, the Tanukis also picked up the Pyromancer.
Yeah, that's a nice gold swing into your pocket. I mean, both small objectives going your way, and that definitely helps out the items.
Yeah, we're now seeing around the region of a 2,000 gold lead on the side of the Tanukis. But I mean, even though the light falls there's a lot used from the Tanukis. Even though the light died, there's a lot used on the terms of the Jesters, and Cat is going to take a lot of damage there from this Merlin, but nothing really going to come of it. But both objectives picked up there for the Tanukis, very nice for them. And I mean, we are seeing the lead in the duo lane on this Chernabog because of the amount of pressure that they've been able to gain over there. Other than that, nothing else really going to come from it.
No, but hey, good on the Hachi for realizing that the Jesters were over there trying to do that Gold Fury while everybody else was fighting over Pyro. Goes in, gets the steal, and his team also gets the Pyro.
Yeah, we did see ult shoes from both Chernabog and Ravana to pick up the kill onto the light there. But it's still nice of him to be able to pick up that Gold Fury, even though he does give himself that slight deficit. We are probably going to see a fail not actually picked up here from Chernabog as well.
Yeah, he's also got the Rage going, 2 stacks on it right now. But Felnot, I'm not sure. I haven't seen that item built a whole lot in my games, but I'm also just a Lance player.
I used to be a very big advocate of Failnot, especially on Chernabog, because I really like Failnot as an item. Unfortunately, that item has kind of fell off in this season. We are going to see a 4-man rotation over towards the Expert. 2-man stun is going to come through, and beads and Aegis are going to be used from Chernabog there. It is going to be just the Aegis, not the beads, but it's a nice 4-dung to be able to work with the Expert and pop on that knock up off of his ult. But the tier 1 tower is still going to fall in the solo lane.
Yeah, but if you look at mid lane and duo lane, they're pushing those towers on their sides.
Yeah, they're just going to push as an overhaul, and I mean, Bomber used the ult there to get on over to that solo lane. We also saw the Athena ult used as well. And I mean, in return, they got the 4 and the Cucullin ults, but I mean, so what? Because that Cucullin ult is on a very, very low cooldown.
And the Achilles just teleported that T2 at tower in duo, so that's Achilles teleport down right now.
Yes, it certainly is, and I mean, it looks like they're going to be stancing around Gold Fury, which spawns in around the next minute. I mean, looks like Athena's going to back before that actually happens. I don't know really what direction both of these teams are going in, because, but I mean, we're seeing around 3,000 gold in terms of a lead for the Tanukis now. It's not actually a great deal, but the experience on the other hand is.
Yeah, that experience is just looks like it. I can't even tell really experience is. I mean, mid's up on for the Tanukis, jungle's up for the Jesters.
It's mid support and solo.
But I mean, you look at that Hachi though. He was down 2 levels just a few moments ago, and he's back to level 18 now.
Hey, look, I called it, right? Fail not.
Yeah, you definitely called it. But looks like Tanukis are gonna get warded up for this Gold Fury, and looks like Thor and Cullen may go after that Pyro by themselves for the Tanukis. Kind of split the map
it
a little
looks like
bit, get that Jesters team split up.
we are going to see Jesters actually pick up this Gold Fury now, and Big Blue is going to take a lot of damage from that said Gold Fury, and that does fall to around half HP now. Nothing really going to come else of it, apart from a few bombs, and the ultimate is going to come through as well from Cat. Beads are going to be used. Royal Jesters do pick up that Pyromancer though, and a lot of damage going to be put onto Big Blue, but nothing else, and things go boom, picks up a kill now onto Big Blue. Athenaral is going to be down. Chernoboggle is available, and he is going to look over towards the Gold Fury side. Looks like Expert's just going to run on down the Wisp here, and I mean, Things Go Boom does take a lot of damage, but Gold Fury is going to be the fight zone at the minute as well. Expert picks up a kill onto Wisp. Rama, the Merlin and Chernobog are going to hang around this Gold Fury to not allow Tanukis to actually pick that up, but these bombs are coming through and really hitting.
Yeah, Chernobog dives in the wall right there, avoids the damage from one bomb, but those bombs do hurt even as a tank.
And speaking of tanks, here comes the Cullen. Now a little bit of safety gain for them, and it's just going to make the Royal Jesters back on up now. And it means that the Tanukis are going to pick up that Primal Fury free of charge.
Yeah, and if Jesters chase too deep here, it could be bad for them. Just let them get out and get back to farming.
Yeah, and I mean, we're now starting to see the game go in one direction, and that's going to be the Tanukis picking up around a 4,000, 3,500, 4,000 gold lead now. So, but in terms of like overall, we're seeing that the Maui is going to stack a Gauntlet of Thebes as well as the Prosthetic Cloak. Now, I think you either need to pick one or the other. You can't really go both. And I think in the terms of how Cat is playing, he wants to only go Thebes. I think he would get a lot more value off just getting that one item. Because he's only still got 12 stacks on this Prosthetic Cloak. Whereas Athena, on the other hand, 25 stacks, this Stone of Binding, along with the cooldown for the Pridwin. It's a nice build for Big Blue here on this Athena.
Yeah, and back to the double stacking on the support. I mean, the Gauntlet of Thieves is going to stack a lot faster for support than the Prophetic will. So I think after the last game, maybe he should have just stuck with the Thieves and not worried about the Prophetic Cloak.
Yeah, look, bro, we ain't here to judge, and what we are judging right now is a 4,000 gold lead for Tanukis and a stancing around Fire Giant ready for this little bit of a scrap. It looks like Expert is going to be dove on here from Big Blue and Hawk. Not going to be able to put out much damage though, with this guy being now level 20 and having the Blue Stone upgraded as well at the same time as Things Go Boom on this 4, also having the Brooch available.
Yeah, that's just more damage that your Thor and your Cullen are going to be able to pump out. And if they're diving that back line, that's what you want them to do, is blow them up.
You certainly do, and that's going to be a 3-man knock up there in ult for the Expert, and Merlin is going to take a hell of a lot of damage, and here comes Thor as well. Big Blue's going to fall on the Athena, Hawk's going to fall on the Achilles. Here comes Mr. Wisp, who actually ults in but also falls, and looks like Bathwater for Sale's going to take this 1v1 with Bomber, and Light's going to pick up that kill onto Bomber as well. It's a 5-man deicide for the Tanukis there. Now 6,000 gold lead, now picking up the Fire Giant, ready to make something out of this game.
Yeah, and Fire Giant doesn't get no more free than that. That's for sure. Nice deicide on the side of the Tanukis, free Fire Giant, get it. Buy the rest of your items and start pushing down towers.
Cannot defend the Fire Giant if they are all dead.
Hey, it goes back to our conversation earlier. Death is the best form of pill.
It certainly is, and Things Go Boom is going to take down this tier 2 tower in the middle lane now, so that's going to make their job a little bit easier coming forward. And Tanukis also pick up the Pyromancer as well as the Fire Giant, so now we're seeing 10,000 gold just off of that mid tower the Fire Giant, and the Pyromancer.
Yeah, and there's no better way to keep a gold lead than getting the objectives.
And hey, this Agni is slapping.
Yeah.
Nearly 20,000 damage, and Merlin only pulling out 6.
Yeah, that's a big damage disparity, and yeah, that Agni's just slapping anything that walks his way.
Yeah, he also has that Pendulum of Ages online now, as well as the Soul Reaver. So he's going to do a lot in terms of damage to the tanks on the side of the Jesters as well, with the cooldown from that as well. He has, 30% cooldown, so he's going to be able to pop out those abilities. Bomber actually nearly falls there. Ulti is going to be used by him, and he's going to pop on back down. He's going to dash into the wall, and things go boom. Comes in with the Dawn and Anvils of Dawn, and he's going to pick up 2 kills there. Merlin also falls to him. There's a lot happening on the map now, and Wisp is going to be around and falls to Things Go Boom as well. We may see a pentakill on the line here, and Hawk
Maybe
does end up falling through the line. No pentakill going to be a thing, and I think this is actually a game. Big Blue, the only person available now for the Royal Jesters, and they take down the Phoenix, and they're just going to strut on over to that Titan.
Yeah, that very well may be the game right there. I mean, that Fire Giant pull, and then that bad fight on the left-hand side of the jungle, and that is game number 2 going over to the Tanukis. That is a clean 2-0.
That is a very clean 2-0. I mean, minus the little stumble with the Fire Giant steal on the side of Royal Jesters in the first game, this game was a lot cleaner for the Tanukis, and you're seeing a lot happen in terms of the amount of damage difference for the mid lane for the Tanukis, as well at the same time as being expert and doing a lot on this Cuchulainn, and the utility gained from the 4 gave them what they needed to be able to win that fight there. I mean, the Jesters stepped up a little bit too close to what they actually should have, and it ended up punishing them with 4 people dying there, 5 people in the end with the deicide on the Titan. But it's going to be a pretty clean 2-0 on the side of the Tanukis picking up this win against Royal Jesters in the Merlin division.
Yeah, and it's just, that's about as clean as it can get. I mean, 17 kills to 4. I don't think they dropped a single objective other than maybe an early pyro.
Fire Giant in the first game. But I mean, this game, God, I mean, it was pretty flawless in all fairness. They picked up the Gold Fury steal earlier on. Obviously, Hatchiman died for that. But other than that, I'm pretty sure one Pyromancer went to the side of the Jesters early. And from then, the same happened as what happened in the last game. And that was, as soon as the Tanukis were able to group up as 5, you just saw that overall they were just a better team as a 5.
Yeah, I mean, just picking out the same target, Maui hitting his ults, Expert just chasing everybody down, Thor dunks all over the place from Boom, Light and Bathwater just throwing out the damage they needed to give their teams the kills and help them get the win.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you saw a lot, especially in terms of the jungle for the Tanukis in this game. Things Go Boom 27 did a lot in the terms of the game with the Mercury, and then he did a lot for them on this 4 as well with the utility of the God. Maybe not putting out as much damage as a couple of his teammates, but in terms of the overall utility of the God, he used it very well. And I'm gonna have to say that Things Go Boom is probably my MVP for this set.
Yeah, he was there when his lanes needed him, but that's what you want out of a jungler. He just shows up. More often than not, it turned into a kill or an objective pull.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that is going to be it for this game. It is going to be a 2-0 win for the Tanukis against the Royal Jesters. Thank you very much to everyone for watching. You will catch us pretty soon with the next cast as well. So stick around for that. Let me quickly check what that is going to be. It's going to be at 4:30. It's going to be Underworld's Lancelot Division versus the Vibe Tribe Lance Division.
Hey, let's go Tribe. I'm in that game. Hoping we go in there and give the Underworld a good fight and come out with a win. So we'll see what happens next.
Yeah, wishing you all the best in that game. And again, thank you to everyone for watching. I've been Cheetah, and I've been here with my boy Jolly Green. Thank you for watching Camelot Smite League.
You're a trip giving me hopeless illusion, hopeless illusion. Yeah. Moving through all my feels, you're blurring out my vision. Watching your every smile like your television. In your eyes, I see myself, I'm falling. Make it make sense, it must be the temptation speaking. What am I supposed to do? Cause it feels so good. Feeling wild like a zoo, put me in a mood. Put me in a mood. Maybe I should've known that it ain't real. How'd you know how to get into my feelings? You're a trip giving me hopeless illusion, hopeless illusion. Maybe I should've known that it ain't real. How'd you know how to get into my feelings? You're a trip giving me hopeless illusion, hopeless illusion. Hopeless illusion. Hopeless illusion. Maybe I should've known that it ain't real. How'd you know how to get into my feelings? You're a trip giving me hopeless illusion, hopeless illusion, hopeless illusion. Even now, you're coming up to me, fire lighting up the sky. Feel the ground shaking underneath, trying to take me alive. Get ready for the fallout. Can't stop me now. I got no rival. I'ma find my way through the blood and pain game of survival. Any time or place, watch 'em run away. I got none. I'll be standing on my The seasons come and go like thoughts of you. Like a wave returns to the sea, into the blue. They change but in a cycle that I can't lose. Each painful but delightful to live through. You came into my life just like another season. Not for long, just a time, just like another season. Maybe this time next year you'll reappear for no reason, but I'll cherish every day until you come my way this season. The seasons turn and change just like your mind. Like the sun gives into the moon, into the night. Time continues marching, it slowly crawls. With each new one starting, I recall. You came into my life just like another season. Not for long, just a time, just like another season. Maybe this time next year you'll reappear for no reason, but I'll cherish every day until you come my way this season. Each time of year carries memories, like a never fading whisper in the breeze. Oh, we will keep on changing all over again. Yeah, we will keep on changing, just like another season. Don't want another day without you by my side. Oh, this season. You came into my life just like another season. Not for long, just a time, just like another season. Just like another season.
I was so sure of our love. I never thought of any reason, a doubt about us. And now I'm right back at the start. Halfway through a bottle, baby, and nothing to know. I thought that I could keep it low. Take it easy, take it slow. We ended up just like before. So take it easy, take it easy.
lights were blinding me, electric pulses through my veins. My eyes reflect the beauty you didn't give me the attention I was hoping for. Is it possible that you want more? I just want you for myself. You had to leave early, and I didn't even have your number. I was afraid to never see you again. Give it all to my baby, all to my baby, all to my baby. 'Cause I trust you a little, trust you a little, trust you a little. I remember last time you said you slept with that other guy. That's why it's hard for me to trust you another time. Give it all to my baby, all to my baby, all to my baby. 'Cause I trust you a little, trust you a little, trust you a little. I remember last time you said you slept with that other guy. That's why it's hard for me to trust you another time. My friends and I were at a party. I wasn't counting on you. I watched myself alarm clock ticking in the night. You were in my eyes, the most